First down on the 36.
And coming in a loose ball, and the 49ers may have it. A mix-up on the handoff. The ball was on the ground, and it was Armstead who forced the fumble.
In the backfield, as well as the pullback Jerome Felton on second down and 8. Nowhere to go with it. In trouble, getting away, and finally down after a pickup of 1, DeForest Buckner.
It's a slide, I know, something like that. It's Rodgers again. This time the 49er defense pins him in. You know, Winston. Palmer knocked back and knocked down at the 18-yard line.
He's handling it pretty well.
Palmer out of the pocket. Pressure coming, and the ball's loose. And the 49ers are on it. Ruled a fumble on the field, and recovery, San Francisco.
And you can rest assured that he not only tells you it's a first down with his finger, he will tell you with his words.
Well, Laura's used to it. She grew up here in Chicago. John Fox is used to it. He coached in Denver. Here's Howard. And this time he loses the yardage. DeForest Buckner who makes the play.
First down here. Looking right, going to pull it down and run. And tripped up before he got anywhere near a first down. Petty. Under pressure, going down again for the 5th time. DeForest Buckner. And starting again with Powell, and that will lose yardage. Or maybe just get it back to the line of scrimmage. DeForest Buckner once again.
I can assure you that's the first time Vito's heard his name on Fox. So they're backed up after the penalty. It's a nice play by the aforementioned Buckner, their number 1 pick.
Goff is going to go down at the 31-yard line. DeForest Buckner, his 6th sack of the season.
2nd and goal. Trying Gurley again. He keeps fighting. Looks like the mark is coming in short. It's 3rd and goal.
3 wide receivers. Andre Ellington, the running back. Ellington carries. And dropped for a loss. No, they went conservative. And Larry Fitzgerald. Palmer. Under pressure. Buckner's got him. Just overwhelmed him. He is so big and strong. 49ers with a 3-point lead. On 3rd and 4, Palmer's pass deflected and bounces incomplete.
Is at the level that he plays is inspiring to me.
This time bottled up at the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard behind the line of scrimmage. 4 solo, 8 total. He does have a sack. Marlon Mack is dropped by DeForest Buckner. Now there's one of the guys really coming on.
And Darrell Daniels with a win on that play.
They'll give it to Marlon Mack, and he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage by DeForest Buckner.
Number 39 of the Miami Dolphins. That was an 18-yard run. Chris Thompson goes nowhere. DeForest Buckner led the line up front.
One of 2 of them on this defense. Reuben Foster is on the field. Injured his ankle week 1. Batted down for a 2nd time.
You're not going to get it over the top of our defense.
3rd down and 15, and Yates goes down, and Buckner gets the sack. It was nullified before by penalty, but he gets his 2nd plus sack of the year.
Here with the 49ers playing his first game in Levi's Stadium. On 1st down, Mariota to the air, and nowhere to go. He's brought down. And it was his former teammate at Oregon, DeForest Buckner. DeMarco Murray hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown for a loss. Big play by the 49ers defense. Bortles fakes one way and it's knocked down. DeForest Buckner got a hand on that one.
Vikings
Vikings history. That's how good he was. Here's Cousins. Pressure, down he goes. 49ers get to the quarterback that time with DeForest Buckner with the sack. One timeout left for the Vikings. 34 seconds ago. They're already at least in field goal range. Cousins pressure. 10th play of the drive. And Cook is buried. Now they're out of it. Here's Cousins. Niners going to come with a blitz. Interesting. Cousins steps away. Down he goes. And that'll do it. So they came with a blitz. It was DeForest Buckner, his second sack of the first half. And that'll send us to the break. 3rd and 12, though. 4-man rush. Cousins in trouble. Steps away. Buckner coming again. And he got him again. DeForest Buckner was there.
For Detroit in that humiliating defeat to the Jets. They hand it off on 3rd and 3. And Johnson is denied first down yardage. And that's the guy we were talking about earlier.
Oh, he's a
DeForest Buckner. Lions hand it off to Blunt. He is forced to the outside. Boy, what a collision there with Buckner. Those are two big, strong men there.
And they're congratulating each other because it's communication between Galladay and Stafford.
Stafford in trouble, sacked. They may have to burn a timeout here. 3:48 to go. Buckner in on the sack. He had 2.5 against Minnesota last week. Clock continues.
Big difference here if the Cardinals can convert. And they're not going to, as David Johnson is knocked back for a loss. So they go into the line with David Johnson. You just talked about the different ways they could use him, but it was a routine, textbook fashion, and a loss of a yard bringing up 4th down.
Doing the little things. He puts about 6 or 7 E's into that green. No getting away from that at all. DeForest Buckner and Malcolm Smith.
Gurley is in. Todd Gurley got by 1. Slowed up on the play. They brought in a defensive back, Tart, to slow him up. Then brought down by Buckner.
Carr keeps. Carr is sacked. Brought down on the play by DeForest Buckner.
3rd down and 8. Batted at the line of scrimmage. He was going to go with a shallow cross to Shepard, but it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. That was big defletions. Pressure in his face, and it's incomplete. That was Eric Armstead, who was collapsing on Eli Manning.
Odell at this spot on the outside. Allows him to get single coverage.
And he is sacked again. A constant theme this year.
1st and goal from the San Francisco 4. Again, it's Barber. And this time he will lose a couple. Winston looking to throw on 1st down. Can't find anyone. Down he goes. Back at the 7-yard line.
He threw for 339, a season high last week. Different week that is. And Wilson, with a lot of time, takes off and is put down by Buckner. And that'll be a sack, loss of 1 on the play. And Buckner with his 8th sack of the year.
In front of the running back, he scores.
3rd down and goal, and Wilson will go down again. And it's DeForest Buckner with his 2nd sack of the game. And that gives him 9 on the season.
25th reception of the year. And now Carson comes back in there. Looking for help. And none there. Beautifully done by DeForest Buckner. Wilson in trouble, and down he goes. Sack number 10 on the year for DeForest Buckner. By 7. And short is Carson. Buckner blew that play up right from the start. That's Baldwin in motion. And a blitz coming. And Wilson in trouble. Big trouble. And he will be dropped short of the 1st down. The Niners make a play, and who else? It's Buckner. Boy, looking solid down there.
Second level is an offensive line. Teamwork.
Now a 4th straight carry. Nope. Trubisky's going to hang on to it. Boy, they're getting cute right there. Is that a fumble?
Yes, it is.
And it looks like the 49ers have covered it up on second down and a foot after Howard's running through the San Francisco defense.
Those are little things that matter.
Trubisky looking for 12 in a row, but he will be smothered. Back at the 43-yard line, DeForest Buckner.
Second down and 5. They keep it on the ground.
And there he is.
This time Jones bottled up by number 99.
There he is.
47 to convert on his third down. And down goes Dalton again. This time.
This is Connor.
Ball's out.
Who's got it? 49ers have it. Rudolph dancing, under pressure, escaping, and goes down.
He lost the ball.
And covered by the Steelers.
4 straight runs and now an empty look here for Baker Mayfield. Mayfield trying to get away. The ball comes loose. And the 49ers recover. And it's Nick Bosa with the football.
They ran it 7 times. It wound up with a touchdown. And here is Henderson, and he's going to be thrown back for a loss. DeForest Buckner.
Had 1 carry, no yards at New Orleans. They pitch it to him here. And that's Warner first there.
Solid bring the blitz. They do such a great job of getting home with just 4.
First down and 20. Flag is down, and so's Kyler Murray. And Penny is taken down. And the ball came out at the end of that play. And San Francisco may have gotten it again. There is a fight for the ball, and the 49ers have it. Play action off of this on 2nd and 7, and they get to him, and they do so by bringing Williams, and then the ball comes out. And picking it up is Buckner. And we've got a San Francisco touchdown. DeForest Buckner. Great football awareness. Carson in the backfield with Wilson. 3rd and 1. Carson. Great job by that defensive front.
He's only had 6 rushing attempts. Murray to throw or run. And he can't get away. Brought down at the 21-yard line.
For his whole career up until this year. 1st and 20. Dunk off here, and look out. And down goes Jamal Williams. Fred Warner right there to spin him down.
The tight end over on that right side to help Light.
2nd and 6. Rodgers taken down. Try to get away. Armstead and Buckner were right there.
Moving it up and down the field.
On 1st down, on the fake, Jackson pressure, tries to escape, and he has really nowhere to go, right at the line of scrimmage. This is unlike the Saints in this drill. Breeze now get it to Murray, who is in deep trouble as DeForest Buckner is there with 7 seconds left. 1st down for Drew Brees and company. It's Alvin Kamara looking for a seam. There is none. Ball's loose. San Francisco's got it.
Shifting around on the defensive front, and Wilson will go down in a heap at the 25-yard line. DeForest Buckner, 31 rush yards. He's averaging 5 yards per tote. Here's Lynch again, and he gets bottled up at the line of scrimmage. The ground again. 5th-round draft choice out of Arkansas. 3rd and 7. Pressure on Cousins, sacked at the 40-yard line. DeForest Buckner gets in there.
Ball is on the ground. and recovered by the 49ers. Buckner has the ball. Aaron Rodgers never had it from center. On first down, Mahomes brought down. Buckner was there, joined by Earl Mitchell in a loss of 1.
Cole Hardman on Richard Sherman.
Mahomes is swallowed up for the sack by Buckner. And a loss of 9.
And fire that football. I think he's been on point.
Here's the undrafted rookie Robinson as he is pushed back, loses a yard, maybe 2.
Only 1 for 4 on third downs, Minnesota. And here they are from their back patio again. Trouble in the end zone. Could we have another safety? It looks like he got back to about the 1.
No, that's a safety.
Are they going to call it?
Yeah. He was in the grasp there, and as soon as they have him in the grasp.
On first down, Mixon trying to find some running room, and he will not. Tyquan Lewis, penetration and a loss of 5. 4-man rush, Burrow in trouble. Burrow is sacked. Inside the 15, Burrow goes down. DeForest Buckner.
Baltimore looking for the lead. Duvernay in motion, handle, a fumble! Edwards coughs it up, and the ball recovered. Okereke eventually came away with it. Baltimore turns it over deep in Colts territory. A complete crusher.
Valdez-Scantling falls out. And the Colts.
From the 25, Watson. Under pressure. And going down back at the 17-yard line. And that is DeForest Buckner.
That Texans defense down in the red zone.
Watson pulls it down. Now on the run, and he goes down. Just inside the 5-yard line.
But he comes off the edge.
Here's a 3rd and 2 for Watson. With time. Now running out of time. Tripped up, and he goes down, and he's not going to get first down yardage, nowhere near it. DeForest Buckner. Under pressure, Watson. Going down. Lost the football. It's on the turf. Who's got it? Colts say they do. And so do the officials. Watson dancing to the outside and tripped up and goes down.
Connor punched one across from a yard out. Will Snell be given a chance? Yes, he will. Snell smothered at the line of scrimmage.
Trevor Lawrence lost on Friday night to Ohio State. 3rd and 9. Glennon in trouble. And down he goes again. DeForest Buckner scooping him up. And that is the 3rd sack today by the Colts D. After the missed field goal by Blankenship. And the Jaguars take over. Glennon in trouble. Glennon, and down he goes. 4th sack today for the Colts defense, and the 2nd for DeForest Buckner.
Guy going in motion.
And Wilson taken down. DeForest Buckner.
Multiple missed kicks by Kaimi Fairbairn last week. 3rd and 8. Mills is buried. DeForest Buckner getting there first. If you're a Texans fan, you just wish he had a little more to show for it. As Philip Lindsay on the take.
To take it the distance in much the same way the Colts have with Jonathan Taylor.
3-man bunch over to the left side, and Garoppolo running around, and game's going to end on a sack. And down he goes to end it. So Garoppolo had never lost 2 games in a row until recently. Now he's lost 3.
Lone setback is McNichols. As the Titans begin at their own 25, we'll see how aggressive they get. Tannehill set
again. DeForest Buckner, third sack for the Colts.
And Tannehill's down too.
He's going to make good decisions, and he throws the ball pretty accurately.
Here's Carter, nothing there, as Buckner made that play and a loss of 2.
Lawrence is brought down, and the ball comes out. Lawrence fumbles. No signal yet. Colts indicating they have it, but no signal from the officials.
If the Colts do come out of the
pile, it is Colts football.
Absolutely. Pressure on Brady. He's in trouble and he's sacked. DeForest Buckner comes on through to bring him down. Brady tipped to the line, knocked down and incomplete. Colts are going to run this out, but this is clearly a pass. But 3rd and long. Have to get to the 38. Pressure coming. Jones in trouble. Down he goes. DeForest Buckner broke free.
But I need to know that we're playing complementary football, and so far they have.
On second down, here's Barber, and he is met in the backfield by DeForest Buckner.
I promise you, that's the first option.
3rd down and 6. Carr sacked. It's Quiddy Pay again.
High formation Mills. He's pressured, got him coming. EJ Speed, he lost it. And the ball is recovered inside the 21-yard line. And let's see who comes out of the pile with it.
It looks like the Houston Texans fell on top of this one.
I think Burkhead fell on top of it.
No, it's actually...
they're going to say it's the Colts.
Wilson pressured, and he will go down. The ball comes out. He gets it back, though. DeForest Buckner.
Last in the entire league in red zone touchdowns.
And to the 16, he gets sacked. DeForest Buckner is there.
Holding opponents to just 31% on 3rd down. 3rd and 9. Lawrence in trouble. Buckner's got him, and Buckner wraps him up. 3rd sack of the year for DeForest Buckner.
McKissick in the backfield alongside Heineke. 3rd and 5. Heineke flush from the pocket and dragged down. DeForest Buckner, who has just been playing sensational in his 7th season in the league. And he gets to the quarterback, and they'll have to punt the football.
On 1st down, the handoff looks like an uneven one in the backfield for Ramondre Stevenson. So on 3rd down, Indy's defense has excelled. 4th best in the NFL. Jones with time, now running out of time, takes off and goes nowhere. Just across the 5-yard line, and DeForest Buckner was waiting for him.
You know, it's not like playing Madden football on PlayStation.
Jones trying to scramble out of trouble. Penalty marker is down, and he slides down shy of the 40-yard line.
Franklin is back out there as he was the last series defensively for the Colts. Here's a 3rd and 8. They're bringing heat. Carr got away. Dancing and down he goes. Ngakwe along with Buckner.
Your number 1 wide receiver after he's been a little vocal during the week.
Here's a toss to Najee, and he gets to the line of scrimmage. That is it. First guy there, Zaire Franklin, no gain.
When you look at the season as a total, but for the last 2 weeks, they've been running the ball for about 140 yards a game.
McFarland this time back to the line of scrimmage, and DeForest Buckner, one of the best in the middle.
Big 3rd and short here. Cousins. Wait a little too long, and Cousins goes down. DeForest Buckner wrecking backfields for nearly a decade. The 35. Fake it, and Dalvin Cook has it.
Oh, man.
And he will lose it.
So that makes 7 tackles for loss today by this Colts defense.
Most in the NFL, 2 already in the opening quarter tonight. Chargers back on offense, and Herbert is sacked by Buckner.
Those were big wins to position themselves with a win tonight to get into the postseason. You know, can they handle that?
3rd down and 3. Herbert
wrapped up in the backfield, ball's out. And it belongs to Indianapolis. Quiddy Pay.
So Driscoll comes on for one, the completion. Now it's Mills again, and they're going to lose yardage here. Ogunbowale is buried. Jeff Driscoll, who we have seen now multiple times in this game, fakes, going to tuck it away himself. Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, tackled and wrapped up by Buckner.
Evan Ingram at the top. They may like that matchup.
They keep it on the ground and will not get there. DeForest Buckner comes up to make the play. First down and 20. Oh, Lawrence hit as he got rid of the football.
This is still a live ball. The refs have not signaled anything.
And it is taken all the way back into the end zone by DeForest Buckner. There was no whistle. Lawrence was down.
There was no whistle. DeForest Buckner is the one that had the strip sack fumble. Then everyone kind of stood around. Everyone had a chance to get the ball. No one did. So DeForest says, all right, thank you. I'll take that and score.
He's been sacked 4 times today. And Pierce goes nowhere. See, the rush game has been awful again for Houston. To fight through it all. Stroud. And that's fitting the way the Colts defense has played. DeForest Buckner with the sack, the 6th of the game for the Colts, and we'll wrap things up from Houston in just a moment.
And so you got to like the way they did start this game.
It's actually a preference of Doug Peterson. Likes to play that first week back. Lawrence is buried. DeForest Buckner just swallowed him up for Indianapolis.
Has worked his way into the leading role among NFL players and tackles. His car's in trouble. The ball's knocked out, loose on the turf, bouncing around at the 31-yard line. Who's got it? Dio Odangbo underneath the pile comes up with a loose ball after DeForest Buckner knocks it out.
Guys, thank you very much. Well, it was a big day for C.J. Stroud. 2nd down, 5. Quickly brought down. Hubbard.
That's another loss right there. You mentioned the struggles Brown had a week ago.
3rd down, 10. Here they come.
He has it. And Buckner back in the game, makes his presence known on a tackle for loss.
As they begin again at the 25-yard line. Mayfield turns hands to White, but he's going nowhere. DeForest Buckner, the All-Pro. Had him dead to rights.
From the 44, play action. Levis steps up and down he goes. DeForest Buckner brings him down.
His last pass attempt was the day after Christmas 2 years ago in Kansas City, and here is his first, and it's flipped out to Warren, and it's a loss to take us to the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Each team with all 3 timeouts. O'Connell steps up in trouble, and DeForest Buckner with the sack.
No, and like we talked about, this has been his breakout year, and I think we're going to see these types of seasons in the future from him. Big pressure, and down goes Stroud. Buckner was there.